What's up, YouTube? You know me. I'm Paul with Washington Pro Carpet Cleaning. Hope everybody's doing well. You can see I have my $39 fold-up wagon or buggy. I'm going to be entering an enclosed building and utilizing an elevator today. And this is not one of my accounts. This is just a person who sold the unit recently and moved out. It seems that the cleaning crew came in and they had to enter the rooms and vacuum and whatnot, but I guess they had something on their equipment or their feet. I'm not sure. We'll see when we get up there in the second room. Then the first room, supposedly she had a carpet cleaner by the name of Bob. She's an elderly lady and decided to tell me about it. She had used him for the past 10 years, and he bought a portable steam cleaner into the unit. He recently retired, so thus she was recommended by the local Nextdoor app. I'm not sure how that works, but I get a lot of work that way. And she liked the information that was left on the Nextdoor app by neighbors, contacted me, and unfortunately I was pretty busy with some other stuff, and I was able to squeeze her in, but I told her because of the setup, I knew the building. I had never been in it, but I knew that you had to do an elevator. I increased my prices a little bit higher than what I normally do to make up for my personal time. And for those of you that don't know, I'm very, very claustrophobic. And elevators just make me nervous. As soon as I step in, I stop breathing almost. If I'm in the back seat of a car that doesn't have a door, you're going to get strangled and you're going to let me out right away. I don't know what it is. That's the only hang up in life I have. So let's go into this one together. You can just imagine me on the tower, or what is it, the Tower of Terror? The elevator ride, Disneyland. Okay, so let's quickly get going here. Oh my word, what's going on here? Just my luck. As soon as I tell you, are we stuck? Panic setting in. Time to hit the fire button or get off this camera, cell phone, and call for help. If I drop to the ground, somebody call 911. Oh dear goodness. The lobby opened back up. So anyway, we're back on the elevator, and the maintenance guy was out there, and he said, oh yeah, you have to use the fob, pass it across that in order to get it to go up or down. So there you go. And that was my fun for the day. This little unit, we're in unit 307 here. I'm going to bring my buggy in. Some of you will take a look at this and say, wow, that's a tiny little apartment. You come back, it's got a laundry room on the right back there. Down one more here. And then it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 small bedrooms. It's got a bathroom. And it's got a master with a really nice master bathroom and a walk-in closet. But I have friends that live in the Midwest or middle of the United States, like Oklahoma, Kansas. And they'll tell you this thing would probably run about $600 a month, if that, to rent. It would blow your socks off if you knew what they sold this for. But anyway, these are the marks that came from feet or whatever it was. They vacuumed in here already. And the first room that I walked into while I was talking, those are the 2 spots that have been there permanently. She said they're not going to come out. Her old carpet cleaner, Bob, would bring his portable steamer up, and they've been there for years. Well, we'll see what we can do with the Auric Orbiter today. And what I'm going to do is I've mixed up a little ZEP bottle with, about 2 ounces of ClO2, stabilized chlorine dioxide, which is a product by the NCAP store called Odor Death. And I mixed it with some warm water and I pre-sprayed everything. And I've already finished the master. I'll show you that in a minute. I kept getting phone calls and interruptions, so I'm not going to put that clip on there. But you'll see in this room here, this is the second room I walked into that had all the footprints and crap in it, or whatever was on the bottom of the cleaner's buckets, or I'm not sure what happened, but you can see it's already gone. The ClO2 took it right out. I don't know how it works, if it's an oxidizer or what. I know it's a good disinfectant, but I actually used it as a spotter on some pet urine last week, and just that and some warm water, and I was just amazed. Pulled it right out, just like my sodium percarbonate or the hydrogen peroxide, 6%, 20 volumes. Some people get that stuff from the beauty store, Sally's Beauty Store. You know, the ClO2 did the same thing as the peroxide. It just ate up the organic matter, and I'm assuming whatever the spots were on the carpet in that room had to have been some type of organic matter, maybe mud, dirt, I don't know. So it came out beautiful. And when we get in the next room, that's the room old Bob, her ex-carpet cleaner, Bob. Bob for years came in and cleaned these carpets, past 10 years, I guess. And Bob just kept telling her that those 2 spots in the first bedroom are permanently stains, and there's nothing that she could do other than maybe a cut and plug. So we'll see what the Auric Orbiter is capable of doing. And of course the ClO2. And those divots from heavy furniture, I've spoken in the past that the way to get those out is when you're done cleaning, just place ice cubes on it, cover the spot. As the ice cubes slowly melt, it creates an evaporative or evaporation process, and it loosens up the fibers. And once the ice is melted, you just take a cloth and you blot up the moisture. And I take the backside of a fork, or you could take a butter knife, separate the fibers, kind of pull it back up, pull the pile back up, and those divots are gone. Pretty simple process. And on the Auric today, I chose to use the Gladiator pads, or Glad pads. I think they're called Gladiator pads on the NCAP store. They're 100% cotton, almost like a washcloth or a towel. And because this was such a low pile and had all kinds of little things you couldn't, the camera always does weird stuff. Sometimes the camera will make it look better than it really is, and other times the camera will make it look just filthy, and I pull my eyes off the camera screen and I look at it and I'm like, no way, there's something wrong here. I don't know if there's a setting or something on the camera that tries to adjust the color tones, because it always happens on these beige or these light carpets, and people will look at a job and go, wow, it still looks dirty. But if you were the customer standing there looking in, you don't see that. It looks, uniform and clean. So I do hate excuses, though. I know, when you watch some VLM guys or guys that are using the Auric or whatever, the first 5 minutes of the video is just a whole list of excuses. And most of those excuses, I can vouch for them. There's wear and tear, or the carpet's been damaged, they've pulled furniture across it, or maybe they had a desk and they had a spinning chair and they just abused that part of the carpet. So it happens, but I just hate hearing that, all the excuses. It makes I think people believe that you're setting them up for failure before you finish the job. Just try your best, and then let people know that, you know, you're working with a used piece of fabric, just like a good pair of jeans that fades out on the knees, and they're real light blue on the knee, but they're dark blue everywhere else. You're not going to make that worn area as uniform as the other fabric that's not worn out. And that's kind of a good way to let people know, you know, or you can let them know if you got a beat up, dented, faded paint job on your vehicle. Just because you run it through the car wash doesn't mean it's going to come out looking like a brand new paint job. It's two different things. So you could see I'm methodically kind of going side to side. I'll bump forward and backwards a little bit on it. Sorry about my mask. I when the customers leave, it's hard to breathe, so I'll take it off. And I keep a pen in my top left pocket, and I just hung it over the pen today. I didn't want to stick it in my pocket because they'll get dirty pretty quick. I'm trying to keep up on the laundry with the masks as well if I wear the mask. The paper masks are good. I still have probably about 40 of those left I carry in my truck. I had to buy some white medical tape, and on those paper masks, I'd have to put the mask on and then pinch it against my nose, and before I put my glasses back on, put a little piece of white medical tape across the top of the mask to adhere it to my I guess my cheeks or my face and my nose, so that my breathing wouldn't fog up the lenses on my glasses, which is so frustrating for those of you that wear glasses and try to wear a mask. You probably know what I mean. And it's even more frustrating when you're trying to work. And if you can't see without your glasses, I got to be able to see to clean your carpets. So I'm going to pull the mask down so that my nose is exposed so that I can wear my glasses. Or B, I take the glasses off, and we run the risk of me missing important areas that are dirty that need cleaning. So the tape solved the problem with those. No problem. It's just once you get it on there, you don't want to be taking it off. So I let people know that once I get it on there, I'm going to complete the job, and then I'll be removing the mask. And this is just coming out really, really good. I'm going side to side, back and forth. Since I've been using my bigger 1.5 horsepower Mighty ECO orbital with the wheels down, when I come back now to the Oric Orbiter, which this job's perfect for the Oric, right? If you're a carpet cleaner, oh my gosh, hands down. You know, it wasn't that bad. It had a few spots that we need to work on. You don't have to bring your bigger equipment in, and you just need to take a little bit more time. You know, that's one thing I've learned, if anything, from using the bigger machines, the 175 rotary or the Mighty ECO 14-inch orbital. I've realized that head weight makes a real big difference. So when you're utilizing the lighter machine, it's still spinning, I believe, at 175 RPM, and it's separating the fibers because it's orbiting. So it's definitely going to clean. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I would build a whole business around the Oric Orbiter, you know, if that was all I had to do, and simply spend a little more time. I think I would probably get 2 Oric Orbiters, which I have 2, and I would put the green brush on one, and then the Challenger pad driver with the Velcro on the other, and I would probably pre-spray, vacuum real good, pre-spray real heavy, use the brush, And I kind of think too that, you know, there's no soap in the products that I use as far as the Green Dragon. And with the, and it does, you can see it's doing a great job here, plus the CLO2 pre-spot. But I was thinking about, I've used the lemon Simple Green. I like the lemon Simple Green. And Home Depot, I think it's like $8 or $9 a gallon. But you can put an ounce, maybe 2 ounces in a 2-gallon sprayer. And it's a neutral pH. It'll dry to a neutral pH, but that little tiny bit will thin out in the 2-gallon sprayer along with my regular Green Dragon. But I think if I'm using the Auric, the lighter machine, I need a little more sudsing action, a little soap actually. And if you've ever used Simple Green, you'll see, put it on your fingers, it's real sudsy. You know, sometimes it'll, when it dries, if you use too much, you'll get crunchy carpets. So that's why I say I'm talking 1 to 2 ounces, that's all. So 1 ounce per gallon of water with whatever else you're using. And it will, with the brush, that sudsing action is gonna pull the soil into the solution. And then when you go back and mop it all up with the pad, I think you'll get more out. I think with just the soap-free Green Dragon or Dragon Fire or Fire Dragon, you kind of rely on the oxidation process with what's inside of it, and with the Mighty ECO, or with a heavier, you know, a Challenger or a 175 Viper or whatever it is you use, you're gonna clean it up and it'll come clean real good, just because the amount of head weight and friction and everything, so you wouldn't need that extra boost. And so I'm going to try that out on my next job. I'm going to go and bid. Here's those spots. Poor old Bob just couldn't get those out. He didn't have a direct line to theendcapstore.com. And Odor Death CLO2. 2 ounces in a, I believe that's a 16 or 32 ounce bottle, spray bottle, that I used and pre-sprayed them. Now I'm going over it with the Green Dragon. But anyway, I do have a bid. They want for stairwells, 3 stairwells that go up 4 flights each stairwell. It's a black commercial grade, looks like indoor outdoor carpet to me, I think. But I'm going to go take a look at it and bid on it. And they actually waited for me. They want it done tomorrow, which is amazing, but they waited for me because I was referred by a contractor. I do all the spec homes. When he builds a property and then he gets model homes, there's usually 4 or 5 models. After all the homes sell, he starts to sell the model homes, and when the model homes are emptied out, I go in and clean them. But he recommended me, so the maintenance manager for this particular property was willing to wait and have me come out. I'm going to head out there next. Like I said, I'm taking a little extended lunch break today, and I'm going to bid on the stairs and the landings. And I don't know what, you know, I talked to a few people and they said they charge $1 or $1.50 a stair. Some people charge up to $7 a stair, which is crazy. So I don't know what anyone else bid, but I'm planning on going in there probably at about $2 a step and $5 for each landing. He sent me a picture of one of the enclosed stairwells, and I'm going to do it with the Auric Orbiter. So I will try the lemon scented Simple Green. I'll put a couple ounces in with my Green Dragon. We'll see if that helps clean up a little quicker. I think it will, if I get the job. But I'm going to go in at $2 a stair, $5 per landing. And I'm thinking 4 floors, 3 stairwells, you know, we're probably looking somewhere between $500 to $700 for the job. And I'll do it all with the Oreck and probably a 50-foot extension cord, because I've done stairwells before, and sometimes there's no plugs inside of them. You have to plug on each floor and run it down and then go back up, get it, move it to the next floor. We'll see. But anyway, if you've been following here, you saw the one room came out absolutely beautiful. The master, I'll show you when I'm done. There's all kinds of light coming through that window, so like I said at the beginning of the video, it was going to be a challenge as far as videoing it. I could see it pretty good just with the human eye while I'm in there. I will close the blinds a little bit and see, just to make sure. And another good tip while I'm ranting here, I've carried a high-powered LED flashlight with me before, and gosh, I want to say it was at least 1,000 lumens. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll turn that light on when I see shadows, like you could see the shadow casting from the door and stuff like that, like right there in front of me. I'll put the light on it to make sure I'm looking at a shadow. And then what I'll do is I'll use the flashlight when I take my before and after pictures, or the after picture I should say, and I'll turn the flashlight on where I'm standing at the entry of the door, and I'll adjust the scope of the flashlight kind of equal to the size of the room, and it eliminates all the shadowing, all the stuff coming from the windows or the doors. And then I'll snap the photo, and it looks absolutely beautiful because you're seeing the true effect. You're not seeing all the shadows. The one thing with the one thing with the cell phone, I'm still using my iPhone 8s, I believe. I'm due for a new phone. I'll probably look into that when I get a chance, but I store so much stuff on them. I want to make sure my cloud's all updated and whatnot before I switch. But I've tried taking the pictures with the light that is, you know, on the phone, the flash, I guess you'd call it if you were considering it with the photo, and it doesn't do nearly the same as a flashlight does. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm looking right now for another flashlight that will maybe be, I don't know if they make them 10,000 luminums. I want to get as high and bright as possible, and one with a good zoom scope so that I can zoom it out to the size of the bedroom before I take my pictures. And that way I have a true picture of what's going on. And a lot of clients like to have pictures for their record proof to the landlord that it's been cleaned. And I know by doing carpets all these years, sometimes people walk in, and if there's white carpet, and say there's an island or a bar set up in the dining room, and they have those yellow lights. I hate those yellow lights. They remind me of a smoker's house in the 70s. You know, they sell those daylight bulbs. Oh my gosh. And we used to own a 6,500 square foot beauty salon that I bought for my wife. And I changed all the bulbs to natural daylight. Oh my gosh, what a difference. All of the beauticians and cosmetologists could not believe, they were so thankful. It was so much easier for them with the natural light to do color corrections or whatever it is they do with their hair dyes and stuff like that, or highlights. It was easier. Those yellow lights just, oh man, they play havoc on white carpet, trust me. If you're ever going to sell a home, go buy daylight lights and put them in throughout your house. It will change the atmosphere and the mood of the home. And next time you're in a home like that and you turn the kitchen lights on or whatever lights, and you know they're those yellow bulbs, kind of I mean, they're the natural bulbs, white bulbs, soft white, whatever, but they cast yellow, I'm telling you. Anyway, people will go back into a home that's been cleaned and they'll turn the light on, and they'll call me up and say, hey, there's a whole black dark lane just underneath the kitchen bar, and it just looks like maybe you missed it. And I can go back there, have them meet me, turn my flashlight on it, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's shadow. It's casting from the light above. And even worse, I show them the yellow light is just awful. So keep that in mind. That might help somebody out. I'm sure even a small flashlight, years ago I used to use a little tiny pocket pen light, and I would just, you're in front of a couch and there's a coffee table between it and it's dark and you can't tell if you're cleaning. You don't want to go 100 times over a shadow. And I will tell you, a long time ago with the steam cleaning, I think I was with the truck mount, I kept spraying a spot in the living room, and the customer told me, oh, it's never going to come out. Well, when I walked around the side of it and I was blocking the sunlight from the window, it disappeared. So I moved a couple times, and then I went over to the window, and there was some kind of I don't know if it was a smudge or it was leftover adhesive from a sticker that was removed, almost in a large shape of a tadpole or a paisley, if you know what that is. And so I covered it up with my hand, and the spot went away. So I went out to my van, and I told the lady, I said, hey, you want to see something? I said, I'll make this spot disappear without touching it. So anyway, she came in, and I had some Goo Gone with me. And I went to the window, and I sprayed the Goo Gone, and I wiped the smudge or adhesive off. And then I moved away from the sun, let the sun come through, and the spot was gone. So that does happen. It could be a small fingerprint. You never know. And that's where the light will separate the shadow so that you can actually see. And you can see it looks like there's a bunch of marks over there on the left, like slashes of bleach. But I actually moved the blinds, and it was the sun, the way the sun was coming through the window. The blinds have these double strings, 2 pieces of strings between each blind on each side. And the sun was coming in at just enough angle that it was casting a shadow through those little square areas on the strings. You see it? You see those right there? Those are shadows. Or sunbeams, I guess. I am going to put a little pressure on this spot just because I sprayed it heavy and I want to absorb as much out as I can. A lot of people say don't do that. I always say that when I do it. I do it all the time, and I've never had a problem with the machine. I don't push so hard that I stop the motor or damage anything. I just push enough to get it to absorb a little deeper. But anyway, yeah, those are lights over there. Looks like damage, but there you go. That's how the camera and things will play tricks on you. I don't think I can even see those when I don't look through the camera. The camera picks up the illumination somehow, and it looks like bleach spots. So if I took a picture of that, somebody would be worried. But anyway, the spot that old Bob couldn't get out, her previous carpet cleaner, looks like we got it to really, really lighten. And I'm going to dig out some of that ClO2 that I put down there. And then I'm almost 100% positive by the time we get ready to leave and take our final video walkthrough or our after pictures, that these spots will be gone. They'll dry, and so you don't have any worry with wick back. Maybe that's what was happening with her previous carpet cleaner. I don't know. Or, He just was not knowledgeable about the CO2. And I'm assuming that those spots were probably urine, maybe pet urine that somebody tried to get out with Resolve over the years or whatever. Then Bob put something on it. Who knows what Bob was using with his portable carpet cleaner. So I come through and pre-spot it with the CO2, and we get great results, and that's what we want. And this video kind of went on for a little bit. I thought about speeding up the process with the Oryx, maybe going 2 or 3 times faster. But then I thought, you know, there's people out there that are building a business just around the Oryx orbiter. They might as well see the true amount of time that it takes to use the Oryx orbiter, and what, you know, little tips and tricks when I talk to you that might be helpful. There's a area here that I'm not sure if it's shadows or not. I'm gonna find out. I don't think it is. And then I'm going to use the rest of, or part of the CO2 I had in that spray bottle and spray down on this area here, so I can try to break it up a little more. And then it will continue to lighten as the carpet dries once I'm done. And if the soil stops coming out, I can always flip the pad, or I can go get another Gladiator pad. So I'm going to attempt to close the blind and make sure I'm not seeing the shadow. And nope, still there. So that's soil. May have been a desk or something in the corner there. So we'll open that back up. Come out here. I won't use any more Green Dragon. I'll grab the CO2. And I'll just kind of spray it on there in various areas. The pad will absorb it and move it around. And let's see if we can break that up. It could be carpet fiber wear. No big deal. But we're gonna attempt to find out. We're not just gonna walk away from it and call it damage or whatever. We'll see if it is damage or not. Better to play it safe than sorry if you're using an Oryx orbiter. That way you can ensure yourself you're doing the best job for the client that you can do. And I will tell you, the drink holder, or the spotter bottle holder on the Oryx that is Velcroed on there, I think it was a $4 item at Walmart. I used it a couple times with the spotter bottle so that I have it on board, but I noticed as the machine would vibrate a little bit, sometimes I'd get a little dribble where it would dribble out, and I was afraid it was going to dribble down into the motor of the machine and cause damage. I could have spun it around the other way, but in here already, look at that, the CO2. This is, you can see the carpet, the separation, how it's kind of clumpy, and that CO2 opened everything up, and you can see it's actually cleaner than when I just went over it. So it needed that extra oomph. Look at that. And as it dries, like I said, the CO2 will lighten it up even more. Never gonna be perfect. We don't live in a perfect world, and I'm glad we don't. And you would never have a shot at improving anything if everything was always perfect. So, and you can see this spot here, it's actually starting to lighten and oxidize out, which is good. And I've gone multiple times over these areas. You saw me come forward through the door when I first came in and did a little bit of a pass on these areas, and then I went forward to the back part of the room, and then I went diagonal across, and any areas that looked darker I kind of went back and forth on. And the Gladiator pad is perfect for just one room. It's still absorbing. It'll absorb all the way through. And when you see the dirt transferring to the pad, you know it's still effective. Get the cord back out of my way here. We should be good. So if you're out there using just the Auric Orbiter and you started a business, comment in the comments, let me know. I know there's been a lot of you guys, and I appreciate you watching my videos, and I love the Auric Orbiter. So just because you see me using the bigger machine, trust me, down the road, you're gonna do the same thing. I actually used the Auric Orbiter on a 9,000 square foot office building. I think it was a year and a half ago, something like that. And the Wheeler brothers actually convinced me. I was going to go rent a machine. I was so scared that I couldn't get through the job, but they convinced me, and that's when I was just learning the VLM. So I think I was using Simple Green and ammonia or Fabuloso and ammonia, I can't remember, but it did a hell of a job cleaning that 9,000 square foot. Look at that. Everything is gone. That's where that spot old Bob couldn't get out. You can tell I like saying old Bob, her old carpet cleaner. Bob's retired. And I'm going to brush these all out. Get them looking all uniform. See if it's a real low pile, so I don't know if I'll be able to get triangles on it, but we'll see. And I lost my train of thought where I was going. Oh, that's right, the Wheeler brothers convinced me to go ahead and try the Auric, and I did it, you know, and they were right. They said just get through the job and then, you know, walk back through. If there's areas, you can always go back and touch it up, spot it, brush it, whatever you got to do. So I did that 9,000 square foot unit and made almost $1,000. I think I have a video back there somewhere. So that's when I decided I'm going to use the money that I make from this particular job. I got $1,000, and I'm going to find a bigger 175 machine so I could advance my business. And I could have probably done that 9,000 square foot twice as fast. And I was right. I got a 175, and look at that. Come on, guys. Oh my gosh, that's the Auric Orbiter at work. You gotta give props to the Auric. Don't hate on it. It's a good machine. I'll always come back to it. It's lightweight. I love that. But anyway, here's my pads. I did use the money, and if you're one of those guys that are using the Auric Orbiter, comment in the comments. Let me know how business is going, and maybe you guys could get together, get to know one another. You know, you can comment upon someone's comment in my comments, and I know there's some sites out there, some Facebook sites that will help you out as well, but keep the camaraderie going. Keep your head up and your chin up. You can see it's very viable with the right chemicals and the right, you know, amount of time. Completely gone. Old Bob would be happy. And then the marks from their buckets or footprints or whatever the maids did, gone. This one's got the shadows. I closed the blinds, but it's hard for you to see. I can see it. It came out beautiful. So anyway, I just encourage you. I'm not a trainer. I can't, you know, you can't call me up and talk to me for hours on the phone, how to do this, how to do that. I'll direct you to my videos. Watch as many videos as you can. There are some guys out there that I guess are take the time to train people and stuff. I just got too much stuff going on. Even though I love you guys, I think I provide enough information on the video that should help you out. So that's it. I took a really long lunch. I'm going to go and put a verbal bid, I guess, in on this particular job. I feel like they're going to pick me anyway because they requested me and I was recommended. So hopefully we get the job. $2 a step, $5 a landing, and hopefully we make enough money to buy another work orbiter if we want to. Thanks for watching.